So we're just going to start with the fact that I've entered you all into the Blackboard course called iPads and BBLearn Webinar. So if you go into your Blackboard console, you should be able to see this course now. This webinar is about having your students submit assignments such as essays, movies, posters, presentations, etc. from their iPad to a Blackboard course. Just note that I've added the test options into the Blackboard course, but we're not going to be reviewing them in the webinar. They're just there for your, for your viewing and just to see what tests look like in the mobile learn atmosphere. As well, for those who are viewing this on a video recording and you work for the higher colleges of technology and would like to be registered in that Blackboard course that I just spoke about, just send me an email at this email address and just make sure that you include your HCT username in the email so that I can easily register you into the Blackboard course. So from there, I'm just going to push play and we'll start the webinar. So when we're looking at getting assignments from the iPad into a Blackboard course, we have a few apps that are needed. The number one app that we need is the Mobile Learn app. Mobile Learn app is what we connect with the Blackboard course. Safari is also another way that you can connect to Blackboard, but actually I'm not recommending it for assignments because the assignments they allow is only an image or a video, and that's it. It doesn't allow you to connect to any other assignment or file types. Now, in order to get those other file types uploaded into Mobile Learn, you need a second app, and it can be two cloud services, either Dropbox or Google Drive. So you need to save your assignments first in one of these two cloud services, and then you can upload it into the Blackboard course without an issue. I do recommend Google Drive at this stage because there is 15 gigabytes for free, so there's lots of space for your students to store their work and for you to store their work. So Google Drive is my number one preferred, but if you're using Dropbox, that is okay as well. The compatible file formats that you can upload are quite varied, actually. You can get images, JPEG or PNG is fine. Videos, so usually they're saved as MOV on your iPad, or MP4 as well is fine. PDF files are fine. iWork files, pages, keynotes, or numbers all upload easily. And any Microsoft Office file, so Word or PowerPoint or Excel. Just be aware that maximum size is 10 megabytes. So if you go over that, Blackboard will not allow the upload. So for most of our videos, they are over 10 megabytes. So you should upload them from the library and not from your cloud storage service. So when you upload it, Blackboard will compress the video into an equivalent size of under 10 megabytes. So just be aware that the quality of the video will go down, but it's still good enough quality to view on your iPad and to mark students' assignments. It's just not good enough quality to put it on the overhead projector to share with the other students. So just be aware of that. It's good for marking, but not good enough for larger viewing platforms. As well, the name will change to video0.mov. I'm not sure why, but this is what happens every time. So don't document your students or criticize your students that they didn't name their movie properly. It's actually not their fault. It is automatically changed into video0.mov. As well, Google files such as Docs, Spreadsheet, and Slides will be converted to PDF. They won't stay in their original file format, and sometimes you will lose some information. So it's best to convert them to a Microsoft format first and then upload them to the Mobile Learn. Okay. So the assignment tool options in Blackboard, we have three basic assignment tools. The first one is the traditional assignment. It's not mobile learn friendly, and I'll review why it's not mobile learn friendly in a second. The second one is blogs, and the third one is journals. So the traditional Blackboard assignment, you can view it, but it's not a mobile friendly view. So it looks like what you would see from Safari's, okay, from the Safari app, and not actually in the Mobile Learn app. As well, you can only upload an image or video. You can't upload a PDF or a Pages file or a Keynote. So it doesn't connect to your Dropbox or Google Drive, so it's not very good for submitting assignments if you ask my opinion. So it's very limited. Basically, if you're getting your students to do an assignment like a video or an image, great, but again, it's not very mobile friendly. Blogs and journals, however, are very mobile friendly. And basically they look the same, but they have slightly different functions. So the blogs are for individuals to contribute. So you can make an individual blog, you can make a group blog, or you can make a class blog. The downside of that is that all students can view all blogs. So there's no private option. So if you're getting your students to submit presentations or essays and you don't want the other students to see those, this is not the option for you. But if there are assignments that you actually want the students to see and comment on, then the blogs would actually be a good option. And of course, they can all be graded in Blackboard. Journals are a little bit different. They're for individuals or for groups. So you can make an individual journal or a group journal. And the default is private. So that means that only the student and the teacher can see the journal entry. So it keeps it secure. But again, at the very end, after everybody submits their assignments, you might still want to share it with the others. And you can open the view to all. And of course, it can always be graded. So what I'd like you to do right now, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to exit this full screen, is open the BBLearn app. And go to, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here on my iPad. Go to the iPads and BBLearn course, and then assessments in MyLearn, and assignment submission options. So this is what it looks like on your BBLearn app. Just notice on the left is your menu. So these are all of your courses available, and you can always edit those and delete the one, not delete, but close the ones that you're not teaching right now. You want to make sure that you keep things in folders when you're using the BBLearn app. That keeps things a little bit more organized for your students. So I'm just going to give you an example of what it looks like to do as an assignment submission in a journal. So if you tap on example of a journal, you'll see actually there's quite a few submissions already. So I'm going to tap plus. You will get, it's very difficult to see because it's a little bit light on my computer, but there is a subject line. So you do have to put a subject line. So I'm just going to put test. And you do have to put a body. So you have to say, dear teacher, here is my work. So here is my work. And then you tap attachment. At the very bottom of the screen, you can see there's three options here. There's camera, which would open up your camera where you can take a picture or video at that moment. Library is any of your pictures or videos that are already saved in your camera roll. And then you have the cloud option. So if you tap on the cloud option, you'll have the two options, Dropbox or Google Drive. So the first time you tap on Google Drive or Dropbox, it's going to ask you to log in and to allow BBLearn to communicate with that cloud service. I've already done this before, so it's not going to ask me that. It's just going to bring me right to my folders. So here at the very top, I have one for the practice that we're doing. And you can see that all of the different file formats that are available. So if the file format is not available, BBLearn will not see it. And Dropbox, you won't even see it in your Dropbox. It will just look like it's not there. So you can see that BBLearn actually accepts all of these file formats. Now, if I tap on the example presentation.key, my keynote, you can see that it's 13.3 megabytes. And it's going to give me a message. The Dropbox file you chose is larger than 10 megabytes. So I'm going to dismiss it. And I know I can't upload that. So it's something to be aware of when you're giving assignments to your students. If you're giving larger projects, you're going to want to make those into smaller parts or sections and have them upload those sections individually, or have them export it to a PDF file where it will get compressed a little bit. So I'm just going to put an example pages document, and you'll see that it gets uploaded. It's going through its little system. It's a little bit light on the screen, but there it is. Now, once I have it uploaded, I can tap post. Okay, and it will only take less than a minute and it will get posted. Now, once it's posted, it's both the teacher and the student can communicate with each other. And you basically just tap on comment, and as a teacher, I say, thank you for your work, Or I can tell them, please check this again, or please submit again. Or if it's a first draft, second draft, I can put my comments there for the student to review before they put another entry. Now, the good thing with journal entries is the students can do multiple entries. I will show you in just a minute how to make sure that you restrict the entry so that they don't delete the original entry. This is really great if you're getting your students to do essay writing and you're doing draft 1, draft 2, and you want to keep a record of all of the entries that they've done. So quite easy. That's an example of how the students will add a journal entry for a submission of an assignment. So I'm just going to open up the Blackboard page and show you how to create a journal in Blackboard. Now, you can do this on your iPad, but you cannot do it in BlackBoard. The BlackBoard app is basically only a read and a comment app. That's it. And you can add your entries, but you can't do anything from an administrative background, like administrative point. You can do it in Safari. However, it is a bit clunky because since the buttons are really small. So I do recommend using your laptop to manage your Blackboard courses. So basically, you just go to where you would like to save the journal. And you can see here that I have the example journal, and I have 2 other journals from the previous webinar. So if you click on assessment, you'll see that you have the assignment, but that is the traditional Blackboard assignment, and it's not what we want to do. We actually want to go to tools, and we want to click journals. Here, we don't want to link to the journal page. We actually want to link to a specific journal. So link to a journal. And then here we can choose a journal, or we can create a new journal. So I'm going to create a new journal, and I'm just going to give it the title Test B. Okay. For the instructions, don't put the instructions here. They won't show up on your Blackboard or your BlackBoard app. So it's actually best to make your instructions in a PDF file and put them in the same folder as your journal. So that way the students can easily see the instructions, and then they can go to the journal to submit the assignment. For some reason, BlackBoard just doesn't show the instructions in the app. You want to make sure that it is available. You can also put a time limit, a restriction. So especially if you're giving a due date, you can put that in here. And then you can choose monthly or weekly. I put it into a monthly if it's just a one-time thing. If it's something that you're getting your students to do on a weekly basis, or for example, various drafts of essays, you can change it there. Also, these are important functions. I usually keep all of them off. I don't allow users to edit or delete entries because I want to keep records of everything. And I also don't allow users to delete comments. Although if it's something that's not, so important, you can click that one on. This final one, permit course users to view journal, is important to keep off if you don't want the other students to see that journal entry. So this means that it's a private journal entry between the teacher and the student only. If, again, as I said before, you want to share your assignments with the whole class after the marking or even before the marking is done, you can always go back into the journal, edit the settings, and turn that on. Okay, you can also, here, the very final thing, you can add a grade. So I'm just going to add 100 points. And here you can add a rubric. So you can select a rubric, you can create a new rubric, or create from existing. So I'm just going to select a rubric that I've already created, an example rubric, and submit. Okay, and here we also have another option where you can show the students the rubric with rubric scores, yes, without rubric scores, or after grading only. So I'm just going to say yes, I want them to know what they're going to be graded on so they can see the rubric scores. And click submit. And now you make sure that is the one that you want. You click next. And here's a few more options. Again, don't worry about the text. It won't be shown to your students in the BlackBoard app. But we do want it available. I don't need to track the number of views, and the date restrictions, it's okay for now. So just click submit, and you'll see our journal is here. Now, if I go to my BlackBoard course, okay, it will take a minute for it to sync into the course. And it's important for your students to know if they need to refresh the browser, they just pull down on their menu and it will refresh. And then they can just tap into the submission and it will come up and just, there it is. 30 seconds later, it's available for them to submit, okay? So actually creating a journal in Blackboard is very easy, and your students submitting from their iPad is quite easy as well. Okay, so just going on. Just be aware, I'm going to be putting this keynote presentation in the Blackboard course for you as well as a PDF file. So these steps that I've just gone through will be in that PDF file. So if it's easier for you to review that rather than review the whole video that we're recording, it will be there for you as well. As well, I've included some web links in the Blackboard course, and these web links basically are showing you videos on how to share artwork files on an iPad. So if you don't know how to get a Pages file into your Dropbox, that first video will show you how to do that. It also has a video that is just about submitting your assignment on an iPad, and this is from a student's perspective, so it doesn't show the teacher's perspective. This is a great video just to add to your Blackboard course if it's the first time that your students are doing this kind of submission process. It gives them a learning by doing example. Here's the video, learn it by doing it. And as well, I've put the iPads in the Classroom iTunes U course. So if there's anything about the iPads that you're not sure of, or even sharing works or creating Pages files, you can always go to that iTunes U course for help. Okay. The other thing I'm going to talk about is groups. So if you haven't used groups yet, Blackboard has a great option called groups, and basically you can put your students into several groups and they can submit assignments that way. So it's a great tool to use if you're getting your students to do a presentation and they have to submit the presentation afterwards together as a group. You can easily put it in, put them together in their groups, have them submit it through a blog or a journal, and then grade the students. The grades you can keep as a group grade, or you can go in and edit individual grades. So if you know that some students maybe did more work than others, you can always edit the grades. The one key thing about groups that you need to remember is you need to add a group link in the home page, or the students won't see them in the BBLearn app. For some reason, if you put it into a folder or somewhere else, they won't see it. So if you see from a teacher side, I've put the link here called groups. And if you tap on your iPad, you can see here groups. So if you tap on groups, you can see the examples of groups here. We have example of a group, and test B1 group is the last one I made, and test 1 group. So you won't be able to see all of those groups. I'm looking at it from a teacher's point of view, so I can see everyone. You will only see the 3 groups that you're registered in. So if I tap on test B1, I've given access to everything. If I go into example of a group, you can see that I've restricted the view or the access tools for the students. And if you tap on the group journal, you'll see that it's exactly the same as a regular journal. They can add entries, they can comment and communicate with each other. I've put everything there so that you can take a look and see what it's like from a student's perspective in the BBLearn app. Just be aware that at the end of today, I will change you into instructor access so that you can see it from the instructor view as well. And as well, you as a teacher can give group tasks to each of the groups. So upload a file to your group blog. Any type of file is acceptable. This is just for practice. So there's one of your tasks that you can do today. So in order to create groups, actually, you just go into the users and groups on the left-hand side of your screen, and you click on groups. Okay, and you just choose create. You have different options. You can create a single group, and it can be self-enroll or manual, or you can create a group set. And it could be self-enroll, manual, or random. So random just means that Blackboard's going to do all the work for you. Again, after you choose random, you can always edit, and you can always move students or add students to different groups as well. Just the initial group settings are done. So I'm just going to call it test C. Okay. And again, remember that these little description boxes are not going to be viewable for your students on the BBLearn app, so I just leave them blank. I do want to make sure that it is visible to my students. And here are the options, the tool availability options. I do recommend for your students to click off the things that are not needed for your students, because what they'll do is they'll end up posting something in the blogs instead of posting it in the journal where you want them to. So you can just turn off the blogs, calendars, discussion, email. And if it's just a journal entry, you can just keep that on. As well, you can add grades for your journal entries. So I'll give the 100 as I did before, and you can select a rubric. I'll just choose the same rubric that we have already. Again, you can always choose. I'll choose it without the rubric scores this time. You can allow personalization as well. And here in the membership, you can determine the number of groups by number of students per group or number of groups. So right now I'm going to choose the number of groups. And we have about 75 people in this course, so I'm going to choose 10 groups. But that means there's 5 people left over. And what am I going to do with that? What's Blackboard going to do with those 5 members? So here you can choose. You can distribute the remaining members amongst the groups. So some groups will be 11, some will be 10. You can put the remaining members in their own group, or you can manually add the remaining members to your groups. I'm just going to let Blackboard distribute the remaining members, and you click Submit. Okay, and there's our group. So we have test 1, test 10, 2, 3. So if you go back into your mobile app, you can see now that we have another group set made for us. Again, if you want to look at just the group sets, you can click here on the group sets, or you can choose all users. And all users will tell you which group each student is connected with, and that will allow you also to edit those students. So to add them to different groups, to delete them from different groups. So these 3 options are important as well. Now, the last thing that I want to go through with you is actually marking the assignment. So it's one thing to get your students to put it into Blackboard and it's nice and neat, but actually, how is the marking? Is it easy? And actually, yes, it is. It's really easy if you're using both your laptop and your iPad at the same time. So I'm just going to make my screen a little bit smaller so you can see both my iPad and my laptop screen. So here, I'm just going to go into assessments. And as a teacher, remember, I can see all of the journal entries. And I'm going to go to this demo user added a video, and I want to mark the video. So if I open up the assignment on the iPad, I can also open up the assignment in my Blackboard. So you just go to Grade Center and Needs Grading. And here's that first one that I'm looking at right now by Demo User 1. And you just click onto it. And I'll just move this over a little bit for you. So here you can see, I can give it a straight grade, or I can use the rubric to grade it. Now, while I'm looking at the rubric, I can also watch the video on my iPad. So if I just tap on video and tap play, I can watch this great video that I made the other day. And I think that video is fabulous. She put a lot of effort into it, so I'm going to give her great, great, and great. Okay, I can also show description examples if I have them there. I can also give feedback for each individual section of the rubric. And I can give general feedback both here, and if I save the rubric, you can see here I have feedback to the learner. So if I'm not sharing the rubric, it's important that I give the feedback to the learner here and not within the rubric itself. Okay, so I'm giving 100 out of 100 and tap submit, and then it goes automatically to the next student and I grade the next movie. And what's great is the journal entries and the entries in the Blackboard course are in the same order. So basically, you just move up into the next entry and you mark the next entry on your iPad and your Blackboard. Okay, so using the dual iPad and laptop makes grading in Blackboard very, very easy. Okay, I just want to make sure that we've gone through everything. Yes, I think so. So just be aware that this is just a little bit of a snippet of what you can learn in these 3 courses. All 3 courses are available by your HCT EdTech professionals. So you can contact your local EdTech coordinators to see if they have availability for any of these courses. Or if you're interested in taking these courses, just send me an email as well. So you have iPads in the classroom, getting started with Blackboard, and designing mobile-friendly courses. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for attending and ask if there's any questions. And I'm just going to open up so that everybody can see. Okay. Is there any questions by anyone? And if you have a question, just tap unmute your audio so that you can ask any questions. No, heads are saying no. It's the end of the day, okay. So on that note, I'll just say thank you, and I hope you have a good weekend. And if you do have any questions, you can go into the Blackboard course. I have put a discussion board there where you can ask any questions you have, or you can just send me an email and I can answer those questions then. Okay? Okay. So have a good weekend, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.